PSI today is present in 60 countries around the world. It's Latin America, Asia, and Africa, essentially. And in the 60 countries, we have a variety of programs. For family planning specifically, we have 25 countries with an active family planning program. So in terms of impact, I mean, we sold about 900 million condoms in 2007. So it's a very big, reach for PSI. We're very strongly present, and in some countries, our product accounts for like 80 or 90% of the market. In family planning, we're talking about reaching about 7 million couples over a year with essentially, oral contraceptives, injectables, and more IUDs and implants. The reason why programs need communication and outreach strategies, for me, it's because you can't have the supply side without the demand side. I mean, communication and outreach is demand, and offering contraception and services is supply. And they need to be both together to create a market and to create consumers or users of specific products. I think it's something that's really important when we design a program, is that we tend to think a lot about the supply side, so what we call the push, so pushing products down to consumers and giving them access and making sure the services they receive are of good quality and consistent. But the reality is that there is still a lot of work to do about the benefits of family planning, communicating to women about the safety of contraceptives, making sure all the rumors and the misconceptions are dealt with, because even though contraception has been around for 30, 40 years in some of these countries, you still have amazing rumors going around. And I think the main objective of the communication and the outreach strategy is to work on that, work on informing the consumer, reassuring her, and making sure she knows what she's doing. I mean, she knows that what she's doing is actually good for her health over the long term. Well, there are two things to a communication and outreach strategy. The first thing is the messages, and then the second thing is the channels. So you need to start by the messages, I think. You really need to start talking to people, to potential users, to women of reproductive age. And the objective is really to understand what we call the key determinants of behaviors. So what influences them? Is there any cultural pressure? Is there any social pressure, social norms? Is there an issue with their spouses? What are their fears? What are their beliefs? So we really explore all this in depth. And then from this, we try to really identify the key messages or the key communication that we need to set up to overcome all these barriers to usage. I think the other audience that we work with is also providers, and I would say, in a broader way, all the influencers, people who will make an influence on the woman's decision. So, for instance, it could be their husband. And so we also need to work with these people and understand if their role in the woman's life is actually hindering, or on the contrary, helping her to adopt the behavior that we want her to adopt. So it's really, for me, like this is like the most important part of the work. It's really understanding what messages need to be developed.